everybody. Thanks for jumping in the bullpen today. Got some awesome guests. Been waiting for this one for a long time. So, a world-renowned Angus operation in God's country in Nebraska. I've got Hannah Connealy and Gabe Connealy with us today, and also my facility manager from Nebraska Bull Service in McCook is with us. So I'm just going to go ahead and let them do their own introductions so I don't screw it up. So Hannah, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, thanks for having us, Les. We love everything that you guys do at Nebraska Bull Service. It's a really important part of our business. And so this thing that you do on the side, which is great for our industry, we're just really grateful to be a part of it. I'm Hannah Connealy. I am part of the Connealy Angus operation, along with two of my brothers and their families and my parents. So on the operation, I'm the bottom of the totem pole. So I do a little bit of everything, none of them very well, but I'm able to be outside a little bit and help with the actual cattle work. And then I help my mom in the office with whatever she needs help with. And then I run our social media and email marketing and kind of the digital part of that. And then I also do our meat market business.
Awesome. Gabe, how about you?
Gabriel. Yeah, I'm Gabriel. Hannah, sister. I'm the youngest sibling there's four of us, and I'm the youngest, and I'd be more actively involved in the day-to-day running of the cattle operation and the breeding of bulls and that side of things. So I get to work with Nebraska Bull Service pretty often, and I'd also like to say thank you for having us on here. This is a cool opportunity.
Yeah. Fred, what's your story?
Well, I'm out here in southwest Nebraska in McCook, and I kind of look after things here at the Bullstead. And
don't be so modest, Fred. You run the damn thing. So
take care of things out here and look over things at the Bullstead. And I've had the great opportunity to work with the Connealy family at the Connealy Ranch, collect bulls for them and work with them. And it's a great pleasure to be invited up there to events and the sale up there, and just great people, great cattle.
Awesome. So, Fred, why don't you want to just kind of start the conversation here today with a little chat with Gabriel of what all their operation is like on the cattle side?
Sure. Yeah, Gabriel. We've had the opportunity to work with each other and do different things together. And tell us a little bit about the ranch and back when it was started and how it's evolved over the course of time.
Sure. Okay. So I'm young. I'm the young man here. So the history part, I'm going to have to go from a lot of secondhand stories, but the ranch was first established. So as part of my family, I'm the fifth generation. The land itself would have been in my family for since the late 1880s. So it'd be my grandma's grandpa, so my great-great-grandpa, that would have originally settled here. And he would have been one of the first county commissioners here in Grant County. At that point, we didn't have, it wasn't necessarily Connealy Angus at that point. The Angus cattle and the marketing of bulls would have started in the 1960s with my grandpa. That'd be my dad's dad, Marty Connealy. He'd purchased the first Angus heifers in 1961. And then we'd have first started selling bulls in the late 60s, like 68 or 69, I believe. And started small, obviously just selling a handful of bulls. And we've grown since then. My dad would have came back to the ranch in the early 80s, along with my mom. And they've grown the operation quite a bit since then. And at this point, we have 2 bull sales a year. We market around 1,200 bulls or so a year through sales, and then a smaller number private treating. So it's a kind of a neat opportunity that I've got. And the rest of my siblings as well, to come back to a place that's been established, and we've kind of been born on third base, so to say, with the opportunity that we've got here. A lot of the foundation was laid by those that came before us, and we're just trying to kind of keep it going here.
Yeah, no, that's great. Gabriel, can you talk a little bit about the One Iron brand. You know, your brand is just world renowned. Anybody sees that brand on cattle, you know, they automatically know those cattle and where they came from and what they are. Can you tell us a little bit of history of that brand?
Sure. So we've had on our ranch, Connealy's, we've had different brands through the years. The Hook actually is more recent than you'd probably think. I mean, that before the Hook, we had like a Plus 11, we had a Lazy EE. The Hook actually just came in probably the early 2000s. It was a gift from, let's see, it'd be my great great uncle, I believe, Francis Tobin, who was from the Tacoma area, who gave it to my grandpa in the early 2000s. And we have taken it from there. You know, you mentioned it being a One Iron brand. And if you knew us, it's a little bit weird. Obsessed with efficiency here, and especially my dad is completely obsessed with efficiency and doing things as quickly as you can and still doing a good job, but just efficiently. And so a One Iron, if we didn't have a One Iron brand, I think that he would pull his hair out. So it fits us pretty well.
Yeah. No.
So your dad, what's your mom and dad's name? Okay.
Sure. My dad is Jerry.
Okay.
And my mom is Sharon. Yep. And as I mentioned, I'm the youngest of four. So involved in the place here would be my oldest brother, Jed. He's 10 years older than I am. And his wife, Jace. He's got 4 kids who range in age from under 1. And the oldest would be 15, I think. Is that right, Hannah? And those kids are helping. I mean, this morning they didn't have school this morning, and so you can hear them on the radio. They're helping to feed at a different location right now, and it truly is a family operation. But so Jed, my brother Ben, who is not involved in the operation, he's 8 years older than I am, and he lives in San Diego, California. And I mean, the weather that we've had the last week makes me think he might have it kind of figured out.
A little jealous.
Oh man, you get out and the tractors won't start, and you think, man, it'd be all right to be in San Diego today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my sister Hannah, who's here with us today, she's 2 years older than I am, and she's involved as well. My family, I'm married to Becca, and she's involved a little bit more loosely on the ranch, but she still helps with events, and she's actually a nurse and studying to become a nurse practitioner right now. And then I have 3 young boys as well that help when they can.
So, and I'm going to jump in here just a little bit, Fred, but you're from Whitman, Nebraska, and what's the name of the road? Is it Irish Lane?
That's right. That's where I live, on Irish Lane. It was, I think it was and I don't know the history on this either, but I think at some point that the people who lived on the road had some kind of influence on what it was named. My grandpa was just about as proud of an Irishman as you'll ever come across. I mean, if you see one of our catalogs, I mean, it's just shamrocks everywhere. Yeah. And we overplay that pretty hard. But so yeah, I live on Irish Lane. My brother Jed lives on Husker Lane, and then my parents live on Angus Lane. So it's
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then how many mother cows do you guys run out there, Gabe?
Yeah, right now we run about 3,500 Angus cows. Okay. We don't have any cooperators, which is a fact that I'm kind of proud of, I guess. I mean, it means more labor for us, and just, I mean, it's a lot of management. It's very intensive, but at the same time, I mean, that's something that we hang our hat on and that we're proud of is that I feel like we have a tighter grip on quality control, where every animal, every bull, every female is raised on this place. When somebody calls me about a bull, thinking about buying a bull, and they ask, what his mother's like, I can answer that question because I know that cow and I've been around that cow, and she was raised on this place here. So, I mean, it's a long answer, but 3,500 cows is about where we're at right now.
And that's really kind of unique in this day and age, not to have a cooperator herd. Because you see a lot of the producers good, not to say that's good or bad, but it's you guys are kind of so in more of the original way of raising them and selling them and stuff, just doing it all yourself.
Yeah, we're the only ones stupid enough to not moved on from that by now.
So you market. When are your sales? You have a fall sale and a spring sale, or what are your dates for that?
That's right. So we have a sale. We have 2 sales a year, one in November, and we just changed the date on that. I think it's what, Hannah, the Monday before?
The third Friday in November.
Now the third Monday in November. What's the official
Friday.
date on that? Do you know?
The third Friday.
The third Friday. Okay. Yeah, we just changed the date. So it's in late November, and then the 4th Saturday in March. That's our traditional sale. So we added a fall sale in 2016 because at that point we were trying to sell a few too many bulls during the spring, and it was just a long day for everybody. So we decided to split that into 2 sales. Most of the bulls that we sell every year, another thing that we're proud of, I guess, is that we try to sell more 8 bulls. So we used to try to sell more yearling bulls, almost exclusively yearlings. And at this point, out of the 1,200 bulls we sell each year, there's going to be about 100 or maybe just a tick over that are going to be yearlings. The idea behind that from our standpoint is that we don't have to push these bulls as hard to develop them. We can bring them along a little bit slower and not compromise feet, not compromise longevity, anything like that in the development process. Besides that, I think they work better for customers. An older bull he gets out to breed cows and doesn't fumble around, knows a little bit more what he's doing. Absolutely. You don't see the problems. You don't see him break down near as often. So that's another thing that we've kind of moved toward with this fall sale. It allows us to market these bulls at an older age.
Okay. Awesome.
And then something I'd add there, I guess. So in the fall sale, we sell around 450 or 500 bulls. And then in the spring sale, it's a few more than that. It's 550 or 600 bulls. In each of those sales, we do have a limited group of females. We sell about 8 females in each sale. And that's not something that we view ourselves as bull sellers, not really as female sellers. And, we get a lot of calls throughout the year about somebody inquiring, trying to buy some females from us. And our answer is that there's 8 of them in the upcoming sale, and that's your chance. And then we can have an excuse. But, that's strategic. We've never sold a bunch of females with the idea that that's kind of our IP. That's our factory, and we don't want to be competing with our cow herd somewhere else.
Absolutely. That's a good way to look at it.
Gabriel, how far, you talk about the 2 bull sales a year in Montreal, how far do those bulls go? East coast to west coast and north border to south. Are any of those bulls international?
Yeah, so that does happen occasionally. So we do deliver, all the way from California to Maine and from Washington to Florida just in the last year or 2 here. And occasionally we do go international. We've actually taken a trailer into Mexico before. That's been a few years. We will cross the border into Canada. And then we do have some interest from farther away. South American countries. And those are usually not live animal exports. And you know more about that than I do, Fred, as far as the live animal thing. But typically, if we get someone from Argentina or Brazil or Australia, things like that, usually what they'll do is they'll buy a bull and then want to export the semen on that bull. And so I'll call Fred and say, this just happened last week. We had a group of Brazilians that came through and were interested in buying a bull, and they wondered where we collect bulls. And I told them McCook, and they went down to McCook the next day and toured the facility. And we'll see what happens here in the March sale. But if that were to happen, then they'd send that bull to McCook and freeze him and export from there.
Yeah, well, awesome. We really appreciate that from the Nebraska Bull Service part of it. So, Fred?
Well, yeah, no, it's
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Gabe.
I have the utmost confidence. Yeah, I have the utmost confidence in Nebraska Bull Service. I do. Working with Fred and Michelle and everybody down there, it's just been, it's pretty easy to communicate and just, I've toured the facility down there a couple of times, and it's a good deal.
Yeah, they absolutely make my life a lot easier. Being 4 hours away, I just a phone call away, and call and talk to Fred. Yeah, the sun's shining and the wind's blowing. So it's always good. He's always got the smile on his face and a great attitude. So you sell them many bulls. Do you sell? You have a live sale. Do the bulls still run through the ring, or is it all video, or how do your bull sales work?
the bulls still go through the ring, and we've discussed that. It's pretty easy to look at other sales that have them on video and be jealous of how much labor they're saving that day. But if you were to come to our place, our facilities are fairly antiquated, I guess would be the nice way to say it. Our sale barn's really small, but with that, I mean, we intentionally haven't changed anything with it. It's been that way for decades, and it's small and it's cramped. And on sale day, if we get a crowd, then everybody packs in there, and there's not very many seats to be had, and it gets kind of hot in there, and there's just an energy. And I think that if you are selling at auction, the aura and the energy are just extremely important. And I think a live bull in the ring amplifies that energy. I mean, that bull comes in and everybody can kind of look at him. That's one reason. And then the other reason is that, a lot of our customers are local cowboys here that trust seeing the bull with their own eyes more than they trust a video. And to be honest, I'm the same way. I mean, you can learn a lot from a video, but you can never learn what you learn seeing that bull in person. And so having the bull in front of them, I mean, we're going to sell 600 bulls in March. I don't expect that any of our customers can have a legitimate opinion on 600 bulls. And so being able to put those bulls, especially later in the sale, put them in the ring in front of them and let them evaluate them right there, I think is important.
Okay. Awesome. But I mean, are they able to bid online on your sales, or is that all at the brand?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Gabriel, we have online bidding and phone bidding, and you can even order in advance.
Perfect.
Gabriel, when you talk about all the bulls coming through the sale ring and being there, I've been there many a times, and it's just a great experience. Tell us, a few years ago, when you guys were working on the Shamrock Shack, and your dad was in the sale ring and was talking about a few cinder blocks and a couple of sheets of tin, and tell us that story. It's really unique.
Well, the main thing here is I got to keep my dad from stealing all my jokes. Because I told him that, and then he brought it to everybody and got a good laugh, and now everybody thinks it was his. But no, it was so before 2021, we had a sale barn here, and as I said, it's a small sale barn, and then we would have porta potties that were set up as bathrooms outside, just on a concrete slab, and it just horrified my mother for years and years and years, and eventually we made the decision, or she made the decision, that we were going to build a bathroom building that was just going to be. That's all it was going to be, was just a cinder block shed with a couple of bathrooms in it, just to get rid of the porta potties. It became, if you're doing that, you just well do this, and you just well have a room, and you just well have a kitchen, and it kind of snowballed, and we ended up putting up a decent sized building that's, as Fred said, we call it the Shamrock Shack, and it's more of a reception hall than anything. But it's a good thing for our bull sale. It allows our customers to kind of commingle and visit and get out of the cold. And then it serves more purposes than we probably thought it ever would. We do host a lot of tours, and a lot of international tours, especially over the summer months. We'll get groups, from 10 people up to, I think last summer we had a group of 150 people that came through on the same day to tour the place. And it's nice to be able to feed them and visit and everything in a facility like that. So yeah, that's the one piece of equipment, or not equipment, but the one infrastructure we have that's not original, I think.
It's a beautiful facility, that's for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. So, right now your bull sale is, when's your bull sale coming up, Gabriel? The third week in March?
March 22nd.
March 22nd.
March 22nd, the fourth Saturday in March.
So, and this will come out before that, but we're about 3 or 4 weeks ahead of that. What are you in the process of doing right now with those bulls?
So this last week, we've been hunkering down more than anything. The wind chills and the temperatures have been terrible.
Absolutely.
Through the month of January, we did a lot of bull work. as far as ultrasounding and freeze branding and clipping. Here just in a couple of days, we'll start fertility testing things. So part of the deal is with our fall sale, we sell those bulls in November, but then we take them through the winter for free. So if a neighbor or a customer buys a bull and in November, but doesn't really need him until April, then we'll take him and we'll deliver him in April. All that's free. And so we do have a lot of bulls here. We have around 1,000 bulls that we need to fertility test, or more than that, I guess, that we need to fertility test in the coming weeks. And so we'll get started on that here next week. So we've got that. We've got to take some videos of bulls probably in the next week and get those uploaded online. And yeah, we're just kind of starting to set up and think about it a little bit.
It's a good thing it's going to warm up a little bit here the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So
yes,
especially when you're out there taking
That's
video.
right. That's right.
It gets miserable when it's really cold. Like
I know it.
So you mentioned the delivery for free. Do you guys do that mostly yourself, or do you have hire that? Or I see a lot of other reels and stuff where you guys are out actually doing it yourself.
We try to do most of it ourselves. My brother Jed and I would do probably 95% of it. It's all with pickups and trailers, and we try to go directly to the customer's ranch. We try not to do central points, anything like that. We try to go directly to their place, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is that it's just more convenient. If you buy a bull and you pay good money for a bull, the last thing you want is to have to go to the stockyards in the middle of the night to pick him up. But then the other thing is that it's, we talk about this business, and it's the cattle business and it's the bull business, but just as much or more, it's the people business. And delivering those bulls gives us an opportunity to put boots on our customers' turf, to meet them, to jump in the side by side with them and go look at cattle with them, and just kind of get to know them on a more personal level. I think that furthers our business, and I think that just allows us to work together with them to accomplish their goals much better than it would if we never had been there or met them.
That's what and it gives you an opportunity to kind of see their cow herding them, and they call and ask you, they probably rely on you guys too to, hey, what kind of bulls do I need? What do I need? If you know their cows, you can kind of help guide them, and the relationship, the customer relationship, that, I think is just awesome that you guys provide your bull buyers for that.
100%. And then another thing that I should mention at this point is my brother Jed, who's 10 years older than I am. He's on the place, and he's got a little bit of a different role on our ranch. He does a little bit more customer facing duties. And so he's a rep for Northern Video Livestock, and he represents a lot of our customers' cattle. When they go to sell calves, he'll go video them, and then he's developed connections throughout the Midwest, Nebraska and Kansas, and all over with feedlots and feeders, and developed the relationship to the point where if you bought a couple of bulls from us and you had a potload of calves that were sired by Connealy bulls that you were looking to sell, that a lot of times he can sell those cattle with a phone call. He knows the type of bull that you've been selecting, the type of cattle that you have, and he knows the other side. He knows the feedlots and the type of cattle they're looking for. And so he can kind of play matchmaker a little bit. And that's just another way that we try to add value to the bulls that we sell is that we're not just selling you something, we're trying to help on the back end too. And then another thing that I should mention he does is in the springtime, we do a lot of breeding heifers, customer heifer projects, and Jed heads all that up too. But in a given year, he'd AI between 8,000 and 10,000 commercial customer heifers of ours, and that's a service that we offer for. Yeah, and it's just another way that we can help them to improve their herd, to make them money, and again, more customer contact.
Yeah, and it probably brings premium to their calves too when they're selling. I would imagine with the contacts with and stuff.
Definitely.
They get a little premium at the market. So, and one thing I noticed something about your operation, and this is the way I love to do it. You work your cows basically on 4-wheelers and stuff rather than horses. Am I correct on that, or?
We do. Yeah, we
So
do.
what's your
Yep, we haven't.
Let me ask what's your philosophy behind that?
See, you kind of you gotta tiptoe around this question because there's some hard lines drawn out there. But for us, again, it's an efficiency thing. It's that we've got enough to do. The month of January, I think we worked cattle through a chute 25 days. And so we have enough going on. We feel that a four-wheeler we can be more efficient, cover ground. I mean, here, there's a lot of ground to cover. We run about a cow per 18 acres or so. And so you go to round up a pasture and we feel like we can get it done a little bit quicker on a four-wheeler. I'm not saying that horses aren't valuable, because there's things that you can do on a horse that you can on a four-wheeler for sure. But that's just a decision that we've made, and that's kind of the way we go.
It's quicker and easier just to get on and turn the key and go. You don't have to saddle up.
It is, except for when it's -20.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
This last week has been tough. It's been really tough. So, Fred, do you have anything else for Gabriel today?
Oh, I just enjoy, the opportunity to go up there. And I had a little visit up there. When was that, Gabriel? Was that the Kentucky Derby? That's
right.
Yeah. And that was a very interesting experience up there. But I really enjoyed that. So, hopefully there'll be a few more of those to come.
Oh yeah. No, we appreciate you coming up.
So Fred, did you get a special suit jacket for that? Did Jody get you a special jacket?
Yes, I did. I cracked out the corduroy jacket from 1978, and I still had a tie from back then also. So yeah, I did.
That.
That's great. So the Kentucky, is that like an annual event you guys throw a party?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Actually, it started as my oldest brother Jed and his wife Jace. It started as their engagement party. They had the idea to throw this, and then it was honestly such a hit that we decided to just do it annually as a customer appreciation thing.
Nice.
So yeah, we do have another one in the works. So this is our commercial customer appreciation event, and it's just one more opportunity for us to get to see our customers and to continue. I mean, a lot of our customers are also good friends.
Mm-hmm.
These are when you're in the ag industry, it's like kind of one and the same. These are also our friends, and they also we also happen to do business with them, and we're really grateful for both business and personal relationships. So it's just one more opportunity for us to get to see them and nurture those relationships.
Absolutely. So kind of transitioning now over into, obviously you have your bull sales and stuff and all that. You've also started where you're marketing some of Connealy beef.
Yeah.
So you are, tell us a little bit of that.
Sure.
Hannah?
Yeah. So this started, we started Connealy Angus Meat Market in 2019, maybe 18 or 19. And it was sort of a spinoff of a direct-to-consumer online business that I had started in 2016. And so when I moved back to the operation in 2018, I had by then one baby, and it was just, I wanted to be able to raise my kids, and it was hard for me to do both. So I paused what my initial business was, which was called Honest Beef. And then when I kind of got my feet underneath of me, we all decided as an operation to start it up again under a family, like a ranch entity, and we branded it Connealy Angus Meat Market. So we did direct to consumer sales on the internet for probably 2 years. We actually stopped right before the pandemic because it's tricky to ship frozen meat steak from Whitman, Nebraska, because the dry ice, you've got to go get at the grocery store, and then you've got to pack it up. It just wasn't a super efficient thing for us to do. And we found that it became more efficient for us to actually just do wholesale. So that's what we do right now, is primarily wholesale to Nebraska restaurants.
Okay. So Nebraska restaurants. And then also, am I correct? Do you have some grocery stores here in the eastern part of the state?
Yeah. And that has been very much, a pursuit by Ruhlman Steakhouse in Ashland.
Okay.
Phil Ruhlman came to us a couple of years ago with the steakhouse concept in mind. He hadn't bought ground or anything yet, but he said that they would like to be able to serve Connealy beef. We actually are related several generations back, and he really liked that story. And so he wanted us to continue it in his steakhouse. So Phil did an incredible job of tackling a hockey stick learning curve that exists when you try to sell direct to buy ranch direct beef and then market it and sell it through a restaurant. He just has done an incredible job. So he developed, I had a little in with Hy-Vee here in Nebraska, but he was the one who really closed that. Okay. Oh, he just did such a great job. So yes, our burgers are also now at Hy-Vee.
So Hy-Vee makes basically hamburgers now, like at Ruhlman's, which is Ashland, which I'm grateful for. I go there quite a bit.
Good.
So, and then also the Copper Mill in McCook.
And the Copper Mill. I mean, Adam Siegfried. Adam I just awesome. We have like a personal ranch fan club for Adam Siegfried and really the whole Siegfried family, like Ben. And it's just, they just are. Adam is a magician and he's totally self-taught. And he just comes up with the most creative, ambitious projects for himself and his crew and pulls it off every single time. In fact, we're really excited this year before our sale. This is the first year that we've done this. And we're like Irish Catholic. So I'm not really sure why it's taken us this long. But for the first time ever, we are going to have a Friday fish fry before our spring bull sale on Saturday. And we're so excited about that. So Adam is going to do it. We're just going to pull out all the stops and do fish, battered fish and fries and beer. And I think it's going to be really
Friday
fun.
night before the sale.
Yes. Yep. The 21st. So that'll start at about 5 o'clock.
You better get your room, Fred.
Come on up. And oftentimes what happens is that folks come to look at the bulls before Saturday, before the auction. And then we just invite everybody to come and to stay for the event that we have. I think we're also going to have basketball, March Madness on the big greens.
Yes.
So come one, come all. Yeah,
absolutely. And then one of the things, I'm sorry, Hannah, but one of the things, like I go into the Copper Mill and even in, in here at Ruhlman's, the dry age, when you first walk in the door, you see the Connealy dry aged meat.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's all them. Yeah. That's all them. I mean, Adam and Phil, and I mean, those guys, let me tell you, and you probably know this, it is not an easy feat to try to do ranch direct beef in a restaurant. I mean, there's just so much to balance.
It's got to be, just the timing of when you get, to get the product there and how much product you have to have and how much freezer space.
And balancing the carcass.
Yes,
I mean,
Phil's
got that carcass balance and it's hard. It's hard and they've done it. So major props to them.
Do you have any, any idea how many pounds of hamburger you've through Hy-Vee?
No, he started, no, I don't know. He would know that. He started taking 8 head a week in June. And so if you figure, there's 250, 300, 350, but depending on how well you're able to utilize that carcass. So that's a lot of pounds every week.
And I know locally, I go to the Gretna Hy-Vee up here in Omaha, and specifically we'll go down and see the Connealy beef, in the Hy-Vees there.
Oh, good, great,
so
great.
That, and then like at Phil's there, he has in the meat market over there.
Sure.
There was the one time, I don't know if he has it recently, but the 5 pound, he had like 5 pound packages. Those were awesome. I get them. And then, he had a little bit of a discount. So I got them for some friends of mine and gave it to him. Best hamburger they've ever had.
Good. No, Phil is such an innovator. I think he did like tailgate packages this fall, and he had like the whole thing all kitted together. And then when people drove from Omaha down to Memorial Stadium, they could just pick up their tailgate. And
he has Coach Rule coming out there quite a bit now, and some other coaches and stuff. And my friend Damon Benning, I've met him in there a couple times after. Unfortunately, it was after a Husker loss, but that happens.
Yeah.
So. And then, Hannah, I also know, I see your presence a lot on social media with the reels and stuff. And you have a lot of fun with that, the way it looks.
Yeah, we try to. We do have a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun. We have a fun family, and we have a goofy family, and they have all been like, it's been a learning curve to get everybody comfortable with.
That's what I wanted, because it looks like sometimes you get Gabe on there. Maybe it was yesterday. I saw one where Jed maybe had to go. Was he in the feed wagon or doing something? And then There was one I really liked where you were walking around scaring. I mean,
Yeah, my mom and my
your
sister,
mom.
yeah.
I think your mom might have been ready to kill you. I'm
Oh,
not real
she,
sure.
oh yeah, she loved it. That was her favorite. Yeah. No, yeah,
And you-
yeah. Everybody has had to learn to be comfortable with that, and it's hard because you know. And I can say it too, like I'm not in their shoes, and I can imagine like always having somebody with a phone.
with
Yeah,
phone shining,
you have to get used to it. You know,
Yeah.
Gabriel, when we were in high school, there was a spell where Gabriel is 2 years younger than me, and he would want to give me a high five every time we passed each other in the hall, and I would never do it. And I think he's still
I
paying
think
me
he's
back
rolling his
for
eyes
that.
at you.
I can hear him rolling his eyes at me right now. This is what I'm asking. Can we cut this out? So I think he's still trying to pay me back. So like sometimes I'll try to tell him a joke or, you know, ask him who his favorite sister is. And he doesn't play along with me. And
Yeah.
I just feel like it's still payback from in high school when I wouldn't give him high fives in the halls. So he and I are still working.
It would be a lot easier to play along if her jokes were any good.
Oh,
He's a really tough customer. Anyway, so yeah, but everybody we do anyway. My point is that we have a lot of fun.
that's
We have a lot
because
of fun.
you're obviously anyone that knows you're the work is extremely hard. The conditions sometimes are extremely hard, and quite honestly, sometimes working with your family can be difficult. You know,
Amen.
because you're harder on your family than you are anybody else, and that's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Amen.
But there's nothing because we started our business in '83, and it's been all family until now. Our extended family out at NBS, I think of them as family, but you're harder on your own family than you are other people. But it's so rewarding. It works
At the
out.
same time.
Yeah.
And you know, when it comes down to it, the rewards and the benefits and the pluses and really, you know, the magic that can be created when you're working with your family.
Yep.
We feel really blessed that each of us kind of has our own lane.
Yep.
You know, Gabriel is gifted in genetics and just so good at that, and he just excels in that so well. I'm such a proud sister of him and of my brother Jed. Jed has he's got his own thing going on, and he's really good at it. And I don't have gifts in either one of those categories, and I also don't have the same gifts that my mom has. My mom is so incredibly intelligent. She's self-taught. She's gritty. Like my mom is an Omaha girl who had no idea what the Sandhills were, moved to Hyannis, Nebraska in the 80s, madly in love with my dad. And, you know, just self-taught. She's just self-taught on everything, and she doesn't give up. And so she's incredibly organized. And if she doesn't know something, she'll teach herself how to do it. And so she's got a different skill set than I. We all just have different skill sets.
And that's what brings it. That's what's so
that's where
cool
the magic
and unique.
happens.
And that's what I see in some of your videos or reels. Just like there was one about when you're taking your DNA samples or your tags or whatever, how organized and how kind of like what Gabriel was saying, your dad likes to be efficient. Everything looks so efficient and organized and moved. And it's a wonderful story, and it sounds like a wonderful family. And it's really awesome to have one of the top, if not the top, Angus producers right here in Nebraska.
Wow.
You know,
those are very kind words. Those are very kind words.
You know, it's kind of Nebraska proud. So
we feel the same way about our customers and about Nebraska Bull Service and the people that we feel lucky enough to do business with. That's it. There really is no place, right?
Right. There. But what it was no place, but it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Especially this
for everybody.
Especially this last week, but it's not all bad. So going along, do you see we talked about the Kentucky Derby event. As far as your meat market, are you kind of where you want to be, or do you see that expanding a little bit, Hannah, or what do you think?
We're pretty happy with how things are. Like I said, we've been really fortunate to find awesome restaurant and wholesale partners in the Copper Mill and Kincaidor Brewing and in Ruhlman's, of course. And it goes, and we find that we're really happy to be on local menus here in Nebraska, and we're just like grateful for that. And, for our customers to be able to go into one of these awesome establishments, which we're so proud of each of them. We're very proud to be associated with each of them. And for our customers to be able to go in and see genetics that are in their herd on the menu, we don't think that
true.
hurts either.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And and my feeling is, as time moves along, the consumer wants to know where their product's coming from. So you're getting your name out there with that, and they can see your ranch. They can get on your social media. They can see what's going on, and if they know where their beef is coming from and the quality of it, I think it gives them a peace of mind.
Yeah,
to know how everything.
We
you know,
hope
because
so.
now it's like, oh, I want things to be raised
Sure.
humanely and done this and that, and
Sure.
it gives them a face with that product, and I think. I really think that's the way in the future. I think you're going to see more and more of
Well,
that.
Les, I don't think there's any way that it's going in the other direction.
No.
You know, and for somebody who is interested in and has the time and desire and really the location base with
Yes.
the population around them,
Yeah.
and there's several people and entities who have developed their own branded beef programs,
Mhm.
and I think they're all, you know,
Yeah.
if they're doing it right,
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
all doing
Absolutely.
great, because you're right. This is a trend that is only going to go in the other
Explode.
direction. And here's the thing, like, you know, I think that as an industry, maybe in the past, we've been on the defensive about our practices in the production segment. And, you know, ultimately the consumer is the one who pays our
That's right.
bills.
Absolutely.
So I think if they desire to know more about how their food is raised, where it comes from, and in my opinion, most importantly, who is doing it,
Right.
you know, a rising tide raises all boats. And
Absolutely.
So, and that's part of our social media and marketing thing too, is that it's for our seed stock business, primarily, like you said, just we only get to see our customers maybe once a year, sometimes twice if we're lucky, sometimes not at all.
Yep.
And so for them to be able to see a little bit more about the operation from where they're buying their genetics, that's kind of our goal with that. But also outside of the industry, just like you said, if somebody is able to see what we're doing in production agriculture, and how really, as you know, I mean, we're an intense operation, but I think that we do things and treat our animals and our land in the same way that everybody tries to do. Hopefully that makes them feel a little more trusting and confident in buying American beef.
Because the education you get, I mean, I'm located right between Lincoln and Omaha, and it's amazing the amount of people that I talk to that really don't have any idea. They, you know, everything, you know, it's all free range or this and that, and they just believe what they hear on the Main Street news, you know. So I think the more familiar they get and the more we can get the word out there how our product is raised, it's just the better it's going to benefit everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a never-ending battle, but I think the Connealy Ranch is doing an awesome job, especially with your meat now in the locals, because Hy-Vee, if anyone's familiar with Nebraska or Iowa, that's huge. And then you're at some of the top restaurants here in the States. So really, really appreciate you guys and taking the time. Is there anything, Hannah or Gabe or Fred, that you want to add to the conversation today? Anything?
I want to ask Hannah. Hannah's kind of the social media side. Is there rooms still available downtown Hyannis at the hotel for the sale day?
Yeah, to my knowledge, actually, Gabriel, that's a question for Gabriel. I don't know if the hotel is actually renting rooms anymore. Do you know, Gabriel?
Yeah, I think they are. They opened. I mean, it's the old story of small businesses in small towns, but they shut down for a while and they're back open now, I believe. So there should be accommodations, Fred, and you can always sleep in my basement too.
Thank you so much.
What's that cinder block? Shamrock House, Fred, or with the cinder block house?
Shamrock Shack.
Shamrock Shack.
Bring your sleeping bag.
I have to tell you, we came up to the sale one time, and my wife came with, and we stayed downtown Hyannis at the hotel. My wife woke me up about 2:00 in the morning, and she said, "We're leaving. We're going home." Every 10 minutes or every 12 minutes, there was a train that came through and shook the hotel. And I slept right through it all. It didn't bother me at all, but it wasn't too accommodating. But
it's alarming if you've never experienced it before.
Yeah.
You see your life flash before your eyes. You're laying there and you're like, well, it's been a good run. This is it.
Yeah. Gabriel, do you have any good stories that you could tell us about riding in the back seat of a Super Cub with Jed at the helm?
I don't know. I don't know who listens to this podcast, but if there's any FAA on here, then I probably better not.
Okay.
We can pretty much say whatever we want, Jay.
Gabriel, do you fly too?
No, I don't. Jed became a pilot. I don't know, 5 or 6 or maybe more years ago than that, and I'll leave that up to him. I wouldn't mind it, but my wife probably would.
So does he have his own plane fly off the ranch?
He does. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. He's got a plane and a just a little berm airstrip that he's built there in front of his house, and yep, it's handy. He can make running. I mean, part of living out here in Whitman is you're pretty remote, and so running for parts or getting anywhere, honestly, it can be a day killer.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, well, Hannah, you have anything else you want to add?
No, I was just going to say his wife Jace is actually also a pilot. She's this woman is crazy. She's our ranch veterinarian. I don't think we've talked about Jace yet. She's our ranch veterinarian. She's a pilot, and she has an 8-month-old baby. So we're really grateful for Jace, and then Gabriel's wife Becca. Everybody's part of the magic, and Becca is absolutely part of that. We have a lot of fun putting events together, and our bull sales coming up, and we just had our powwow, like our ranch lady meeting that we have to dream up ways to get people to drive to Whitman, Nebraska, because it's a trip for almost everybody. I don't really care. We've got a few customers and friends who live up and down, locally, that we're super grateful for, and but for mostly everybody else, it is a big effort to come to Whitman, Nebraska. And so we have Becca and me and Mom and Jace, we have a lot of fun dreaming up how to make it worth it. And so that's part of holding these events. I love it. I love a good party. That is like my jam. I love
I could see that.
I love planning a party, and so it's fun when we all get together and we dream up ways to get people to come to Whitman, Nebraska and make it worth their time.
Besides the awesome
besides the bulls, we want them to bring their families and their wives and their kids, and we want it to be an event for everybody.
Pack the sale house and make it a great day or a great weekend. So, hey, I want to thank Hannah, Gabriel, Fred. Thanks for getting them bulls collected really early this morning and getting, because actually, Fred, you're going to be heading. And I got to put this plug in for Fred's wife and Fred's son, Gus. You talk about a super athlete, Fred's boy. He must have got it all from Jody. So I don't know. He's got a basketball tournament in Lincoln or Omaha, somewhere here in this part of the state. A super baseball player, awesome football player. So congrats to Jody for giving Gus the athletic part there, Fred. So
it's from somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
We just got to get him converted over to a Husker rather than a Buckeye. So,
there you go.
So, but hey, thanks again, the three of you, for joining us here today. So, Hannah, how can they anybody listen? What's your website?
ConnealyAngus.com is our website, and then you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Connealy Angus, and we're also sort of on TikTok.
Sort of on TikTok.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I would definitely recommend, if you get on Facebook and follow Connealy Angus. Some of the best videos. I mean, they're just absolutely wonderfully done. So, but thanks again. And of course, you can get a hold of this at NebraskaBullService.com, VoglerSemenCenter.com. One of these days, we're going to get them combined, so it's just one easy click. But thanks again, everybody, for jumping in the bullpen. And you guys have an awesome sale in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
I know Fred will be there. I'm going to try my darndest to get out there. But
come for the fish fry, stay in the hotel. It sounds like there's going to be an open spot in Fred's bed.
No, we're not going that far.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks again, everybody, for jumping in the bullpen, and we'll see y'all later. So bye-bye.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, Gabriel.
Thanks, guys.
a Hurrdat Media Production.